Hi, we're Eric, Leigh, and Josie.
We're the mobile correspondents of As We Eat, a multi-platform storytelling project exploring how food connects, defines, and inspires.
So today we're headed to Galveston, and I have an earworm. Can you name that song and the artist? So Galveston actually has quite a long history for oysters. So we're super excited to see if we can't find some oyster bars, some oyster markets, and try some oysters from the Galveston Bay. So see you in Galveston. Actually headed to Katie's Seafood to see if we can find some oysters. So as soon as we get there, we'll let you know. Okay, so we're trying to decide if this is actually a restaurant or a seafood market, because really what we're after is some fresh oysters. I think we found Katie's Seafood Market, not the restaurant. Well, we struck out on the oysters. Apparently there's some issue with harvesting oysters that should have started in November and didn't happen until December here. And so there's a shortage of oysters. You can find them shelled, which we don't want, but we're gonna try and come back to Katie's. They're supposed to have a truck that arrives today in a couple of hours. So we're gonna go wash Delilah because she is so sandy from the beach at San Luis Island, and then we'll come back and see if we can't grab some. Otherwise, our friend at Sampson and Sons said maybe Kroger's. We might have to resort to Kroger's. We'll see. All right, catch you later. We are recording now.
Now we're recording, so hey.
So we totally scored here at Katie's Fish Market. We got the oysters in the shell, and we also learned about what to do with oysters that are already shucked. I was a little bit confused about why you would have a shucked oyster, but you got to follow along and figure out what recipes we're going to do with both of these.
Cheers.
See you in the kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. As we promised earlier this afternoon, we're going to show you one of the recipes that we are going to make with the oysters that we got from Katie's Seafood Market. This one's actually just going to be a raw oyster recipe. Eric's going to shuck some of the oysters. I made some jalapeno salsa to go along with those. So let's get shucking. Okay, so you guys, these oysters are gigantic. This is 6 of the 12 that we got.
I think for both of us, this is our first Gulf Coast oyster.
Yes.
These are from brackish waters, and I can tell you that this thing weighs about as much as a baseball. This thing's massive. So let's see if we can find in this thing. Ooh. Pop it open pretty good. Hoping maybe this is all shelled. That's just crazy. It's a little sandy. Definitely a different smell than the P&Ws, but
More clam smell.
Yeah,
It smells more like a clam than it does the Pacific Northwest oysters that we're used to. I think what we're gonna do here is we'll put some of the jalapeno salsa on there. We'll put a little bit of lime juice on there just to do kind of like a little ceviche. action in there to cook a little bit of this. These are pretty big bites. And then we'll let you know, we'll do a taste test and you'll see. Okay, so the other thing that our friend said that he did was he ate them on a cracker. So I have a little cracker here. I'm gonna give it a little go. This is a very big bite, but here we go. I was a little nervous about eating such a big oyster. I was afraid that it was going to be way too much, but it's delicious. It really is really, really good. So Eric's going to have to shock the rest of these. Okay, so it's Eric's turn. He also has a little trepidation about the size of these oysters.
Here goes nothing. All right, that actually was really good. With the cracker. Added some crunch. Otherwise, that would have been just too much squishy. That would have been a no-go. But the flavor, especially with the, I don't know, everything gluten-free cracker, that really wasn't bad at all. That was good. Especially with the salsa on there. And lime juice. Back to shucking.
Good morning. After a little bit of a stressful morning trying to find the van keys, which we did end up finding, we got our coffee and tea made and we're enjoying that now. And once we're done with that, we're going to jump into the kitchen and make our second recipe for the oysters that we picked up at Katie's Seafood Market in Galveston. And this was recommended to us by the gentleman that sold the oysters, and it's a recipe for fried oysters. So we're going to make up some fried oysters, some fried eggs, and some toast, and have some breakfast after we're finished with our coffee and tea. Meet you in the kitchen. So we're on to our second oyster recipe, which was shared with us by the fishmonger at Katie's Seafood Market. And it's a super simple recipe. It's for fried oysters, and essentially it's just flour and a blackening seasoning of your choice, or homemade, whatever you have. And then it's fried up in a browned butter. So let's get to frying some oysters. Okay, so like I said, this is a super simple recipe. I'm actually using white rice flour because I don't do gluten, but you could totally do a all-purpose flour. So I'm starting with about 1/3 cup. And then blackening seasoning. And that's it.
Oh,
All right, first taste of blackened fried oysters. This is delicious. So easy. That blackening seasoning is just really
that's good.
awesome on here.
A little hot sauce,
The hot sauce.
fried egg. Man, that is good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the next recipe. Cheers. Thanks for joining us on our tasty travels. Make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell so you can see where we are next and what tasty food we've discovered. See you there.
If you enjoyed this video, let us know by hitting that like button. It means a lot to us. Oh, and the link to the recipe for this episode is in the description below.